Good afternoon, and thanks for calling the Pay-As-You-Go Energy team at British Gas. British Gas Trading Limited is an appointed representative of British Gas Services Limited, which is authorised and regulated by the Financial Conduct Authority for its insurance activities. If you pay as you go by topping up your meter, press 1. Thank you. Good afternoon.
Hi, I was wondering if you can help me. I was speaking to somebody and they just cut me off. I don't know.
Alright, okay, sorry about that. It is a really bad line that we're on at the moment, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a quick note of your mobile number first that you're calling off, just because I can't, I don't know, it's a really strange line. Can you hear that?
No.
No, can you not hear it?
It might be because I've got my phone charging.
I don't know, it's a really strange interference. I've never heard it before. It could be, but what we'll do is I'll take some details off you if that's okay. We'll get this sorted for you. Is that alright?
Yeah, that's fine.
Can I take your postcode, please?
Yeah, it's N78UG.
And your house or flat number, please?
It's 60 Centurion Close.
That's perfect. I'm just waiting for that to load just now. If we do get disconnected, I'll just call you straight back on the number that you're calling off. Is that alright?
Yeah, that's fine, thanks.
Perfect. Could you just confirm your full name for me, please? And your date of birth for security purposes?
Yep, it's Don Jackson, and that's 9th of the 7th, 1972.
That's perfect, thank you for that. What can I do for you today, Don?
Well, I've actually been on the phone to British Gas quite a lot over the last couple of months, right? You know, regarding they were giving me some what do you call it? Goodwill gesture, because I haven't been using my gas a lot lately, right? Because the winter home discount they give you, right? It only tops up on the electric, yeah? Yeah. But my house heats up on central heating, which is gas, right? So because I'm having to put the money on my meter, I hadn't been using my central heating. So what I ended up doing was going buying some radiator, plug-in oil radiators, yeah? Oh, right, okay, yeah. So it would make sense, wouldn't it, to use up the £140. So what had happened is British Gas wrote me a letter and they says, as you've not been topping up your gas regularly, we're giving you a goodwill gesture of £95 because the standing charge works out more than what you were topping up. So I said, yeah, that's fine. So as I said, so I'd been on to British Gas for quite a while talking about this, right? And then out of the blue I got this letter. It was dated the 12th of the 2nd, 2016 from a company called Face to Face. Okay. So I'd never heard of this Face to Face, and it says they were applying to the court for a warrant of execution, right? To read my meter, right? And they didn't even have a signature on the letter. So I was a bit dubious about the letter, and it had British Gas on the letter, but black and white, and I thought, oh, is this some kind of scam or something like that? So I phoned up British Gas and I asked them about it, and they said, well, and this was the last call I made weeks ago. So they said, yeah, well, the company works on behalf of British Gas, and what it is, they said, they've tried to contact you a few times, they've turned up at your door, and there's been no answer. And I says, well, the reason for that is because I'm a very sick person. I spend most of my time in hospital. I've got a very serious brain tumour, and I've got heart problems, right? Which should be done on your system as a vulnerable person. So we agreed to make an appointment, right? Because I told him I had a few other hospital appointments. So we agreed on an appointment, and I'm sure he said the 15th, right? Which is tomorrow, right? So, and he said, I'll give the engineers your phone number so they can phone you, right, when they get near. And I said, yeah, that's fine. So what has happened is I'm lying in a deep sleep, and I've heard all this banging, so I've jumped up, and I've got to the door. I've just got to my door, it come flying through. Yeah. Face to face. Well, when I finally realised who it was, they said they were face to face. They kicked my door in, right? wouldn't identify themselves, right? Wouldn't show me any warrant. Now, what I'm concerned about is I had an appointment, so how did they why would they even have a warrant if they did have one? I'm actually starting to think they didn't even have one. They've just kicked my door in.
Well, they couldn't have done that without a warrant, so they would have had a warrant. But what I can see, I've just had a quick look into the last contact that you had. You were mentioning on the 18th of February, the one where you booked the appointment, and this was all sort of discussed.
Yeah.
So the appointment was booked for today.
Oh, see, I thought it was tomorrow.
Alright, no, that's fine. That's alright. I'll just check what time it was booked in for today. I'll just double check that for you. Just bear with me.
But see, nobody gave me an appointment letter. I should have been sent out a letter confirming an appointment.
Alright, yeah, I don't think with the premium mirrors, if customers already agreed a date for the appointment with an advisor, then on the phone, if it was pre-booked and you didn't know what the appointment it was, we would have sent out a letter just to advise you of that. But what I can see, I'm just having a quick look through this. So yeah, a warrant was actioned for the gas, just in case anything did happen today.
Yeah, but if I made an appointment, they shouldn't have went for a warrant. Now, I'd see the point of if they came today and there was no answer, then go for a warrant. But no one have already arranged an appointment after only one letter.
Well, the warrant would have already been in place, so they would have already been trying to get a warrant just because of the situation. It's just something, it's a procedure. So they would have continued to get the warrant because they were already in the process of getting that, just in case today, because there has been missed appointment. Sorry,
the letter states here they'll apply on the 1st of March. Now, I made the phone call to British Gas pre that date, before that date. Do you get what I'm saying?
Okay. Yeah, no, I completely understand what you're saying, Don. It's just because you had already missed previous appointments, they would have had to apply for that warrant. So when they did arrive today, because obviously it does cost a lot of money getting booking an engineer and getting something to come out, just in case they do need a locksmith and things like that.
No, but the point is that I've made the appointment. I made the appointment with British Gas. So,
yeah, but the previous appointments that you had missed.
Sorry, I never had any appointments. I've never ever had any appointments. I have not made any appointments. This is the only one and the first appointment I've made to get the meter reading. I can guarantee that. They have.
So people that came out. I was just
they came out on their own. Sorry. They have came out in the past on their own volition, right, without making an appointment. And as I say, because I spend a lot of time in hospital, I would have been in hospital when they came out. Now that is not my fault. You can't just make an appointment on your own behalf without making an appointment, confirming it with a customer. You know?
We did send letters out. I can't see the letters that have came out. Is whether if you haven't received the letters, what we'll do is we'll have a look into this. But just in regards to, so when they arrived at the property, what was it that they actually done?
Well, I recorded the whole thing on my camera, because I was left quite alarmed and distressed, right? I asked for identification. Nobody would show me identification because I still didn't know who they were. They just said they had a warrant of execution. Nobody showed me any warrant, which is against the law again. You know, and I felt threatened in my own home because I'm living next to a prison where you get loads of drug dealers kicking people's doors in and all that. I did not know who that was coming in my door because I was convinced that this appointment was tomorrow. Now I even arranged for my carer to come tomorrow, right? Because
that's completely understandable, but just because it is understandable, these things happen. That obviously you thought that it was tomorrow. It was arranged with yourself for today, but that's completely fine. That obviously
the point is I was not given any notice to say that a warrant of execution has been applied or obtained from a court, right? Because as far as I was aware, when I spoke to British Gas after receiving that letter, that it was stopped because we had agreed to make an appointment. Now we agreed on this date is because I had over the last few weeks I had quite a few appointments. Do you know what I mean? So, at no time did British Gas say, well, we're still applying for a warrant of execution.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Hello?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, sorry, it keeps going blank at times. It's really, I'm not too sure if it's the interference that's doing it, but it's just, sorry. You just have to bear with me because it is quite a bad line. If it does get any worse, then I'll just call you back on your mobile.
Yeah, see, I think it's because I'm charging it up now because my battery's nearly flat.
Alright, no, it could be that. It's just, it just goes blank at times. So if you hear me asking, it just sort of, we'll just go back over it. Sorry, it's just.
But anyway, the guy that came, right, he phoned me up, so he did have my number. He phoned me up, and he tried to apologise, and he was asking if he could come later on and read the meter, and I said, well, at this moment in time, I'm seeking legal advice just now, so I can't give you any details on that. Plus, he left me quite in a state of shock, you know. I don't really want to see the guy's face again after kicking my door in, you know.
That's completely fine. I completely understand what you're saying. Just what we'll do. So it's more in regards to the warrant part of it that you were inquiring about. Is that right? Just because you weren't advised about the warrant?
Yeah, I wasn't advised.
Obviously the appointment was set up for today, and it wasn't made with yourselves for today. So that's just a mistake that was made. That obviously you just got the day wrong, which is that's completely fine.
Yeah, but that wouldn't have made any difference. The point is, right, is even if I just went to the shop for a pint of milk, my door would have been kicked in. So regardless of I thought it was today or tomorrow, they would have put my door in anyway. You know, I could have went.
They wouldn't have done that. They would have tapped the door first, and if you said you were sleeping anyway, so if they would have tapped the door first, and if they couldn't get access then, they would have maybe obviously thought that there wasn't either somebody in the property or the person in the property was ignoring the door, which does happen. I'm not saying that's what you were doing, but it does happen.
Still kicked the door in. That's what I'm saying.
I completely understand. So I'm just asking. So it's in regards to the warrant side of it. That you're inquiring about.
It's regarding the whole procedure, which was totally wrong.
Alright, okay.
You know.
Alright, no, that's completely fine. Well, what I'll do is I'll pop you on hold for a couple of minutes. I'm just going to go speak to a specialist and we'll get something sorted for you. Is that alright?
Thanks.
Perfect. Hi Don, thanks for holding me. Hi. Sorry, it's still such a bad line. Can I just confirm, are you recording this call?
No.
Alright, no, that's fine. That's alright. It's just, obviously, just because recording calls and things like that, there's a lot of sort of data protection and things like that.
Are you recording the call?
Well, all our calls are recorded, so it's just for customers that
I can get a copy of this call anyway, yeah?
I'm not too sure how you'd actually do that. I'm not sure, because of data protection and things like that, I'm not sure.
Yeah, under the Data Protection Act,
yeah,
I'm sure I can get it under the Data Protection Act. And that.
Alright, okay, well, I just, myself, I don't know if you can, but I don't want to say that you can, because I'm not too sure if you can.
No, but the thing is, see the last call where I arranged the appointment, this is what I want to request that I get a copy of that call anyway, so I can take to your magistrates.
No, that's completely fine. Well, I'm not sure if that's something that you can do, but you can inquire about it, definitely. I'm not too sure if it's something that you can actually do. I've never sort of been asked that question before, so I'm not too sure.
Can ask for it.
Alright, no, that's completely fine. But just in regards to it's the warrant itself that you're complaining about, is that right?
Yeah, because it shouldn't have been executed because I did make an appointment. And it's clearly,
okay, so what I'm going to do
it clearly says here, please call us as soon as possible on such and such number before the date of application on the 1st of March 2016 to arrange access to your meter for the inspection to take place, which I clearly did. It says here, if we do not hear from you, the warrant will be executed within 28 days of this application. So it's clearly been an abuse abuse of power in process, right? They've clearly breached that and they've abused that process of power.
Okay, so what I'm going to do, John, is, just like I was going to explain there, I'm going to actually call through to the warrants team. We do have a team that sort of specialise in warrants and information about warrants, just because we're the page-go team, so we just deal with the sort of meters part of that. But I'm going to call through to them and just get some information off them. Are you okay to wait on hold while I do that?
Yeah, that's fine.
Perfect. If we do get disconnected, because the line keeps going blank again, if we do get disconnected, then your number's on my account, so I'll just call you back. You don't give us a call back. Is that okay?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, thank you. Hi, Don. Thanks for holding. Sorry, I just thought I'd come back to you because you have been on hold for quite a long time. I've just called through to warrants. I was just talking to one of their advisors just about getting some advice on this. So I understand the whole situation is over meter readings for the property, is that right?
Sorry?
The whole situation's over getting meter readings for the property, is that right?
No, the whole situation is the way this was executed.
No, the why the engineers were coming out originally. It's to get a meter reading for the property and inspect the meter, is that right? Yeah,
but obviously, but well, I gather it was just a meter reading, as the guy that came was not a gas engineer, so he wasn't gas safe accredited, which I did ask him and he said he wasn't. So therefore...
So Face to Face are the organisation that come out to do the meter readings and meter inspections for meters, just to make sure that everything's still safe on the meter
but he's not a gas engineer, he can't tell me if the engineer is safe. He's just a warrant executioner or meter reader. As I said, you have to be gas qualified to inspect a meter for gas safety reasons. That is the law as well.
So he's a meter reader. That's why he was asking you for a meter reading.
Yeah, but
that's what that organisation do. I was just checking that's why the situation occurred, why they wanted an appointment to come out.
British Gas could have got a meter reading off me any time. You know, I could have gave them a meter reading. That's no problem. I just don't.
Sorry.
I just don't get why all this happened. I really don't get it.
Yeah, so we get this organisation to come round. That's why the pre-appointments, they're just random appointments. It's just the people who turn up to check, to do meter readings on the property. They're not appointment basis because they do it door to door. They just go round. That's why you would never have been, the times that you were in hospital when you missed the appointment, you were asking why you hadn't been advised of that appointment. That's because that team, they just do meter readings. They just door-to-door meter readers, and if they can't get the customer, then after a certain amount of times, that's when we have to get the, we have to just let you know that we've not had a meter reading for a certain period of time.
The point is, as you just said there, I mean, they just do random visits, and when I haven't been in, so that doesn't mean that I should be persecuted to you know, a warrant of execution to kick my door in. I mean, British Gas...
that's not what I'm talking about, I'm talking about just from the beginning. I'm just trying to get an understanding of what's going on. So we'll talk about that part of it later. That's a different team that will deal with that. But just in regards to the situation, so the reason, because you asked earlier why you were never advised of those appointments, so that's why they weren't advised of that. You weren't advised of the appointment because they were just random door-to-door appointments, and it was just bad luck that you were missing them. You either weren't in, or if you were in hospital.
Well, have you seen my hospital letters? Have you seen the amount of hospital letters I got? You would understand why.
No, that's completely fine. But it's just sort of the days that they were arriving were just days that you, unfortunately, obviously couldn't.
I mean,
you just weren't in the property.
Yeah,
so that I was just checking that. So that's why, obviously, you had quite a lot of questions when you first came on. I'm just trying to cover all the questions. So that was one of the first questions that you asked about the fact that you weren't advised of those appointments. So that's just why. And then when you booked the appointment, we'll come into the whole warrant situation of what happened earlier today. We'll come on to that. But so you booked the appointment. So that was just for engineer to come out and just do a meter reading on the property, to make sure that all they do is just sort of make sure that the meter's okay, that the meter's not being tampered with, and that they do a meter reading just to make sure all the information that we're getting is up to safety, just because like you don't use your gas quite a lot. So the only other way we get
but the thing is,
from the meter.
Sorry, I just need to interject here. I get a gas safety check every year from my landlord, right?
Yeah.
Every year. My meter has just been passed safe, right? It has just been passed safe. I've got a certificate saying that my meter is safe.
Yeah, that's completely fine, Don, but and that's great that your landlord does that, but the meters are property of British Gas, so
sorry.
So that's just why we get that done.
Sorry, I need to interject again. They're not the property of British Gas, right? British Gas is only the supplier, right? They belong to the National Grid, as you're aware of.
Do you have National Grid meters? Well, there is some meters that do have British Gas.
They're not British Gas
because... National Grid engineer that came out. No, that's completely fine, so I apologise for that. There is meters that are British Gas.
Yeah.
We still take care and run the meters, or if you do need to book appointments, then you obviously do that.
Well, it's usually Transco.
For you. But was it National Grid who you got to, your landlord got out to do the safety check?
No, it's my landlord is Islington Council. They have to do it every year. They have to do it every year by law.
Yeah, that's completely fine. No, that's fine.
Yeah.
So it's the council, but just because they'll do that themselves, that's not something that they advise us of, because they don't have to advise us. They'll just do a check for their own sort of information, their own information purposes. They don't have access to the information that we have, and we don't have access to the information they have. So that's completely fine. That was obviously something that we weren't aware of. That's
but I could have provided British Gas with a certificate to prove that my meter was safe at any time. That's not a problem. But as I say, regarding to owning the meter, British Gas does not own the meter. They're only the supplier.
Because I've
but what I'm saying is
You're not listening to me.
No, I know, but I'm trying to get a point across, right? I have had different suppliers in the past, right? And as a result of what's happened, right, I feel that I want to get my meter actually taken out now, because I don't want to be subject to getting my door kicked in whenever somebody feels like it.
Okay, well that would be something that you would have to speak to the council about. You couldn't just do that on your own basis.
It's nothing to even do with the council. It's to do with the national. It's nothing to even do with the council. It's to do with
the National Grid will advise you that the person who owns the property does need to give permission for that, so the council would have to give you permission for that. National Grid will advise you that if you do inquire about that.
I know the process.
It'll be the exact same information that they provide you.
It'll be Transco that will come and take it out. Transco have the contracts from National Grid.
Yeah, no, well that's completely fine, but National Grid, when you phone them to advise them that you do want to do that, they'll advise you the same information I've just gave you, that it is the council that owns the property, so they won't be able to take that meter out until the council have agreed that you can do that, which is completely fine if they agree that, but just to sort of save you some
one of my
time.
neighbours has already had his meter taken out, and it was nothing to do with the council.
Is he a council, does he have
he's the exact same
tenant?
He's the exact same, he lives in this street. He had the exact same problem, and that's why he got his taken out. National Grid agreed to do it. Transco came out and took his meter out.
Alright, well that's something that you can inquire about. It does, the reason that I'm just advising that is just to sort of save you a phone call. I don't want you to have to phone them up and then tell you the information that they do need the council's permission. They'll have contacted the council themselves just to advise them of the situation, because they can't, there's no way that they'd be able to do that to a council property without actually advising them and the council being like, right, that's fine,
I feel as if I'm being forced into it, because I can't keep having thugs kick my door in like that.
No, that's completely fine. We're going to deal with that situation, Dom. We're going to get to that. So I'm just talking to you about everything else. So just in regards to the situation, obviously I did apologise. I didn't realise that it was a National Grid meter. I could have checked that. But there is meters that are British Gas. I was just meaning on a basis, I was just, for example purposes, the meters aren't sort of owned by the council or anything like that, so that's not information that they have access to, it's not information that we have access to. So if they do a safety check, that's not something that they would have let us know. So we still, on that basis, we still need to do our own safety checks, we still need to do our own
but that's saying that's okay if you're going to send a gas engineer, but there was not a gas engineer present.
I'm talking about the meter reading, so I was just meaning on a general basis, we'll still have to do safety safety checks of our own. Engineers would come out to do that, and the situation that you're in at the moment requires a meter reading. So because we haven't been getting any meter readings from yourself, that's what the letters have been going out.
I've not been asked for a meter reading, that's the thing. British Gas has not asked me for a meter reading. Now, as I say to you, I've been on the phone quite a lot to British Gas. At any time they could have asked me, they could have wrote to me and said we need a meter reading. I've not had nothing in writing.
So you need to let me speak, Don. So in regards to the prepayment meters, the meters that you have in your property, the way that they do the meter readings, it's not that British Gas asks you for a meter reading. We have that company face to face coming out to do that on our own behalf. So we wouldn't have to do that.
Without making an appointment.
That's not a process that happens.
Yeah.
Just let me finish speaking, Don, and then you can speak to me in regards to that. So in regards to so that's what face to face do. That's not a process that we have. So we wouldn't contact you asking for that unless you had credit meters in your property. That's when we do contact the customers and ask them for meter readings themselves. But with the prepayment meters, there's two different ways to get meter readings from the property. It's the face to face that come out. So they come out, and on top of that, also if the meters topped up on a regular basis, the meter readings do automatically come to us when the meter is topped up on a regular basis. Now, you obviously advised me at the start of the call that that's not something that you do. You don't sort of use a lot of gas in your property, which is completely fine. So we had to depend on the face-to-face basis. So we had to depend on that company to come out and do the meter readings. That's why this original situation happened, just because we hadn't had meter readings for such a long period of time. I do understand your inquiries about the warrant, and we will have a look into that for you.
So can I just ask you something? Is this been on the strength that I've not been topping it up a lot, or is it just?
Yeah, so if you topped up regular, then meter readings would automatically come to us. That's completely fine that you're obviously not using that much gas in your property.
But I explained to you, the last guy I spoke to the other month there about this when we made the appointment, I said to him, I have an electric cooker, right, and I've got an electric shower, right. Now, I've got, if anybody comes in, you'll see I've got plug-in oil radiators that plug into the electricity.
Yeah, you told me about that,
So there was no point me putting the central heating on.
No, I completely understand. That's the point I was making. So that's completely fine that you're not topping up on a regular basis. I'm just saying there's two different ways that we get meter readings with the meters that you've got. So those are the two ways. Because you weren't topping up on a regular basis, which is completely fine because you don't use the gas that much. That's fine.
But the thing is, the weird thing is.
So you need to let me finish.
What I'm trying to say.
You're not letting me finish my sentences. So because that wasn't happening, then we did have to depend on the face-to-face organisation coming out, and it is just that you missed the appointment. That's completely fine. Like we say, you missed the appointments because you were in hospital or you weren't in the property at the time that the face-to-face.
Yeah, but it's an appointment that I didn't know about. So it's not really an appointment. We're
not holding your account for you not knowing that those appointments weren't happening. So they tried on several times, and then after a certain period of time, they sent out that letter just advising that you did have to get in contact with us. They did send a couple of letters just letting you know, and then they sent that letter saying contact us before that certain period of time, so they can just book the appointment, get an engineer to come out and do that. So you did advise me earlier that the engineer who contact you back, the engineer that arrived today, earlier this morning, when they contacted you back about getting a meter reading, did you refuse the meter reading?
No, I never refused it, and I just said I'm actually seeking legal advice on it before I give you an answer, and that's what my situation still is. Because I'm actually I'm waiting on my carer coming, and we're actually going to go to. I'm going to speak to my barrister, and then I'm going to go to Highbury Magistrates, and I'm going to find out exactly when they obtained the court warrant, and I'm going to do a statutory declaration. I'm also going to show them the video that I recorded with the whole incident.
No, it's fine. Before you do that, you can speak to the team that I'm going to transfer you through to after we spoke about everything else about the situation, like I said. They're the that deal with the meter readings and things like that. That's why I'm clearing everything up before you go through to them. Just because they'll be able to give you most of that information themselves. Just to sort of save yourself some time, they'll give you some of that information, and they'll get that sorted for you. But I was just clarifying how the meter readings and things like that work. That's just what I was saying. So do you have a meter reading for your property?
I can go and check it if you want me right now.
Alright, okay. Do you know how to take a meter reading and where the sort of dial box and things is?
Well, I'm sure you can explain to me. Let me just
fine, just bear with me. I'll just see if I can try and, because we don't actually take the readings for the meters, I'm just going to see if we can try and get that sorted for you. Just check it. Yeah, perfect. So are you at the meter at the moment?
I'm at the meter just now.
Okay, perfect. So was that the meter beeping?
Yeah, it's because I put the card out.
Yeah. Alright, that's fine. That's alright. If you just push the right button and read off everything that it says on the first screen.
How long do I push it for?
Just push it for just in and out like a doorbell.
Oh, it says £3 card. Right, it's all done, because I held it for a long time. So let me just reset it then.
Yeah, it'll just reset. It'll take a couple of seconds to go back to its normal setting. I'll just tell you how much credit's on the meter. You just tell me that just so we know.
The credit on the meter's £85 because I said to you the British Gas sent me this is a goodwill gesture.
Yeah, no, that's fine. So it's saying £85 and on or off in the top right hand corner?
No, it's saying on. It's in the bottom left corner.
Perfect. And does it say off, sorry, and does it say anything else?
No.
Screen?
Right, I've
just £85 on.
No, it says on. Do you want me to press the button again?
Yeah, if you just push a button again for me, just read off whatever it says on the next
screen. It says 0 odd.
0 odd, perfect, and the next screen for me.
How do I go to the next screen? Press it again?
Yeah, just push it again.
Right. Next screen, it just says £85.42 for gas, and it's on.
42 for gas. Okay, and that's what it says. And if you push that red button twice more,
just says 85.42 for gas.
Alright, is that all it says?
Yeah.
Can I ask you what colour your meter is?
Colour, it's like a kind of creamy colour.
Oh, is it like a peach colour? Would you say it's sort of like a pinky, yellowy, orangey?
No, it's like kind of creamy. Like a dark creamy. It says property of Transco PLC.
Okay, just bear with me.
So it's a Transco meter.
Alright, okay. Right, this is a strange question. Is it more cream white or cream sort of peach?
Yeah, probably more peachy.
Peachy, perfect. That's fine. It's just to determine what meter you have in your property, that's all. That's fine. Just bear with me. I'm just going to try and find, because it's different instructions, I have different instructions for a different meter. I'm just going to try and find them, because these are the older meters. These are the meters that they're the exact same sort of way, but some of the screens are in different places as well. Just bear with me.
Okay.
We'll see if we can try and get a meter reading. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get you through to the meter reading team. They'll be able to assist you with that anyway. They'll be able to sort that out, and they'll tell you, they'll speak to you about the warrant and things like that. They'll be able to give you some advice and more information about that than what I will. Like I say, we just sort of deal with the meters.
I've heard what I need to know on the warrant anyway. I'll get my advice from my barrister, and I'm going to go up to the magistrates anyway.
Alright, no, that's fine, but you'll still have to speak to the meter reading team. Will be able to actually resolve the issue for you, so they'll actually be able to get something done for yourself. Like I said, I can just sort of give you the information that I've got, and I spoke to the guy from the warrants team. He gave me as much information as he could on this situation. So the warrants that we mainly deal with are for debt purposes and things like that. That's just why we were clarifying everything earlier. But what I'll do, Don, is I'll pop you on hold for a couple of minutes, if that's okay. We'll get you through to the meter reading team. They'll be able to give you some advice on how to get a meter reading off your meter, and they'll also be able to sort out that issue for you. Is that alright?
Yeah, that's fine.
Perfect, just hold the line. Thank you.
Thanks.